This is it. That year, you click start your business and find new customers online with a brand new website from Telstra. Address www.whatever-you-want. We'll help you build it, write it, design it, refine it, and get online in just 10 days from just $39 a month with no lock-in contract and your first month free. See how we can help make this year that year for your business. Visit Telstra today.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Alright guys, thank you for tuning in to another awesome episode of Vigilantes Radio. Thank you guys. As always, you guys are tuning in. Some of you have called in to our line at 701-801-9813, and a lot of you guys are on the Skype call with us today, and also Google Hangouts. So shout out to all you listeners out there tonight. So what do you know about the power of discipline? Discipline gives us the means to enjoy life. Some would say that discipline is limiting, that the spirit should be free from any kind of rules or limits so as to foster creativity. But guys, creativity without focus, without skills is wasted. Without having disciplined understanding of light and perspective, an artist cannot express themselves. Without disciplined study of language and culture, a writer cannot adequately convey his or her insight. Without disciplined knowledge of chords and rhythms, the musician cannot express his creativity. Discipline gives life a context. It is not confining, but rather is enabling. Without discipline, there is confusion. Yes, your spirit can soar without discipline, but it cannot stay aloft for long that way. Discipline is the foundation for accomplishment. Discipline is not ever the easiest option, I can tell you. It is a full-time activity. You can't just be disciplined in one area of your life. True discipline must be consistent. Remember that for every disciplined effort, there are multiple rewards. A life of discipline leads to a constant upward spiral of achievement. Look around your life, see what needs to be done, and do it now. That is discipline. Yo, hello, and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music series, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline, or starseed, for my Vigilantes audience, family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans, if you're like me. We are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on his journey, and we're still evolving, baby. It is all because of you guys, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect. And we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at theradio@ at onlyonemediagroup.com. That's V as in Victor. Or you can email me directly at chatwithdeanie@onlyonemediagroup.com. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. Text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from my website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the home page, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. So feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here. But guys, only as time permits, sometimes me and my guests talk entirely too much. So, you know, they may not be in the room for outside questions. However, you can also tune into the show via Skype by contacting Houdini.Black. That's WHODINI.BLAK. And as always, my friends, all episodes are available for free download, and you can gather from either Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group, iTunes, YouTube, any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. That's the easiest way to get it, and that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired. Well, I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer, right? So we are broadcasting from our home station here in southern United States, but our special guest is from Papua New Guinea, right? So, well, as you guessed it, and as you can see the title of the interview, of course, his name is K Jr Kaze. And he'll be my special guest tonight to talk about all things music. Oh yeah, gotta love it. So let's take a second or two at the beginning to bring him on and let him introduce himself to the Vigilantes radio family, as I like to call you guys, my hooligans. So K Jr Kaze, you're now live in the mix with all of us. How is it going?
Yo, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on the show, and shout out to everybody that's listening around the world. It's great to be here.
Definitely. So it is like 10 p.m. at night here in the States, or southern states. It's 8 o'clock in Cali. What time is it over there?
It is around 3:08 p.m.
All right, 3:08 p.m. Wow. And it's already what, the 19th, right?
It's the 18th here, but I think it'll be the 19th over there.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, how are you feeling in this new year?
Oh wait, actually, it's the other way around. It's the 19th here, and it's the 18th there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I think you guys are in the future. We're in the past, or the present.
Yeah, I'm in the future. I'm talking to you in the future right now. So,
right.
And I'll give you the numbers to the lotto if you want.
All right, man. So, how you feeling in the new year, man?
You know what? I had a crazy year last year and the year before that, and this year has been started off pretty good. So I'm kind of just taking it in and taking it one day at a time. And I'm kind of happy with how things are going so far this year, and I just want to maintain that vibe right now. So yeah, it's been a good year so far. Definitely.
Did you set any resolutions?
No, I keep forgetting, man. I keep forgetting resolutions because, when New Year's comes, I'm usually faded, man. Too faded to make any resolutions. I'm just like, I hope I make it home alive tonight. You know what I'm saying, on New Year's. So, yeah, I don't really have any resolutions, man. I just, never had time for that.
I hear you, brother.
I think I've outgrown the whole resolution thing. So, just kind of living life the way life's supposed to live, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I feel the same way. I haven't made a resolution in like a long time, probably 10 years. I just don't see it, as a necessary thing to do now.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. It's like, the whole thing about resolutions and even certain celebrations, I feel like they're just so systematic. And like, it's hard to be yourself when you're following the system that's in place for you. So I don't really follow the system. And most of the celebrations, they think I'm an atheist just because, I don't really believe in most of the celebrations, because I do my research and I know they're the pagan holidays, so I don't really mess with it. Like I take it for what it is. People get together, but like I said, it's a system in place, and I don't really want to follow the system because I feel like I've outgrown it, by being conscious minded and stuff like that. So
definitely, man, we could definitely kick it, because I feel the exact same way. Like if I could just skip every last holiday that rolls around, my life would be perfect.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're in the same wavelength too.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Can't stand all this paganism and, sacrilegious stuff, man. But that's for another show. Thank you so much for joining us and taking some time to talk with all of us. So we are about 16 hours away from each other location-wise. And that puts me in the mind state to ask you this, because I wondered this in the back of my mind. I find that I'm creative or do my best writing when I'm doing interviews is at like really strange times of the day, usually between 12 a.m. and 10 a.m. Like I don't sleep during that period. Night owl, for real. When do you find that you are the most creative when you're writing your song? Like what time of day?
I'll probably agree with you on that. I'm sort of a night owl as well when it comes to creativity, because I find that, like, especially when the sun sets and like anytime after 9 p.m. onwards, I feel like that's when my brain is more creative, you know what I'm saying? So, I can write during the daytime too, but the thing about daytime is like, you notice a lot more because there's more light on the corner of your eye, and it's very distracting, and I'm the type to get really distracted really easily. Like, there was this one time, it was a beautiful day, and I felt like, I just hang by the window in the crib and write a few bars on my phone. But then I noticed something in the corner of my eye, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I looked, and there were two flies going at it, like doggy style, at the bottom of my window. I was like so amazed. Like I forgot about writing my song. I took my phone out, and I was trying to take a picture of them flies doing it without scaring them away.
Right.
And then next thing you know, I totally forgot about my whole song. This was 2 hours later, and I was on Google and YouTube trying to research about flies and stuff like that. I procrastinated, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I try to avoid writing music during the daytime, because it's so distracting to me. At nighttime, there's less to see, and my face is just on my pad, on my computer, or whatever, and I can write, without any distraction or things like that distracting me. Yeah. That's how I try to avoid writing music during the day, man. Yeah.
Oh man, I feel that. What's your zodiac sign?
You know what? I have no idea. I don't even know what my star sign is.
When is your birthday?
It's in June the 22nd.
June. I think you're a Gemini, man.
Gemini. What does that mean?
You're like me, because I'm a Gemini. I get distracted easy. Super easy.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot, man.
Yeah.
It kind of explains why I can't hold a relationship too, because there's just distractions going on.
Yeah, man. We got like a duality, a good side, bad side. And
yeah.
Let me check, make sure that's accurate. Let's see, June 22nd, right?
Yeah, that's true.
No, you're a Cancer.
All right. Yeah, I don't know how these things work, man. Like, I've never been into the whole, because is it horoscopes, I think they're called?
Yeah.
Horoscopes,
yep.
right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because with the country I'm from, like, when I came through, there wasn't much Western influence coming up. So when you talk about horoscopes, like, I ask them, like, oh, what's your star sign? What's this now? I'm like, dude, I have no idea, man. You talking about the stars in the sky? Because I see them sometimes at night. What are you trying to tell me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These things are kind of still foreign to me, but, like, I know the gist of it. I just haven't really invested time into trying to understand the whole thing. Yeah. It seems like, again, one of those systematic things in place that, people expect me to fit in just because everybody else is doing it, kind of thing. So, I respect it, but, personally, it's like I haven't, conjure up the interest to, research it and be into it like that. Most people in the West do.
Yeah. It can be time consuming, especially because it's like a rabbit hole, to tell you the truth. It just gets deeper and deeper.
That's true, man.
So let me ask you this.
It gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah, it does. Let me ask you this: where do you do your most writing at? Like, how is the place where you write set up just to get the best out of yourself, your music, and your songs?
All right, so as far as place, man, like for me, it doesn't matter where I write, as long as I'm alone. Because what used to happen before is I started off writing out in the studio, with the producer there cutting the beat up, and sometimes every now and then other artists will come in and do their thing. But like I found that when I was in that situation or those conditions, I never really created my best work, because there's just so many multiple energies in the room, and you're trying to pick a certain energy for that song, so that when the song gets completed, that particular energy you're going for gets felt by the listener. And I couldn't get that when I was writing with everybody else. So for me, it's like, it doesn't matter where I am. You know what I'm saying? I could be in the car, heck, I could be in the toilet. As long as I'm alone, there's no one near me and I'm writing music, I can come up with some of the best stuff. So these days, I just try to write music away from the studio, try to step away from the whole studio thing, and just kind of write music in my own room or, in the car or whatever, as long as I'm alone. So, and I don't have any any rituals like other artists might have, like burning candles and incense sticks or dimming the lights, get the mood going or whatever you want to do. I don't do that, man. As long as I'm alone, I can write. I can write good stuff too.
Definitely. All right, man. So we better make sure that we back it up for a second before we go into the other main topics and other random thoughts that I have. For the people out there who aren't yet familiar with you and your music, what would you say are the defining elements of the music that you make?
Okay, so the defining elements in my music, I'd say I'd have three, and these three elements are created based on what I've noticed in the music industry. And those elements are, number one, entertainment, not necessarily in the sense of content, because I don't usually make dumbed down stuff, but in the sense of delivery and presentation for entertainment. Number two will be education, because I came up of conscious hip hop. I don't always do it, but I love having education there. And the third element is provoking an emotional response. But because of the way that I present and design my songs, you won't necessarily pick them out. The last two elements, especially education and provoking an emotional response, because I got a pop or commercial feel to my music, but it's deliberately designed that way for a purpose, and I'm about to explain why. All right, so I'm a fan of real hip hop. I grew up on conscious hip hop, like your Tupacs, your Rakims, your Nas, your Talib Kweli's, and especially Immortal Technique, which is one of my all-time favorite political rappers. And it's the political songs that I was really into, because I learned more from those tracks than I did from school. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that I noticed was, due to the way those political tracks were designed and delivered, they only seemed to resonate to a small number of people who were only as woke as the artists. For everybody else, it just kind of went over their heads. So, because the beats were serious, the flow was hard, the delivery was more shock-based than entertainment, which made sense, because they weren't trying to make people dance or feel good. They were trying to wake people up. And this is the same thing that bothered me, because those tracks were not pushed or marketed by the labels and the industry the same way they do them pop tracks in the charts. And I really wanted that, because I knew that if those political tracks were pushed and marketed to the point that they were number one in the Billboard charts for a particular number of consecutive weeks, then it will be beneficial to the overall society, because the more people will know how they were getting screwed over by the government and how corrupt it really was. But that didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? Instead, the tracks that get the biggest push by the industry and commercial media are brainless crap with majority of the people who have become accustomed to, because that's what the industry and commercial media pushes, because the beats are catchy and the content is so dumbed down. I mean, that's why I like that type of hip hop that dominates the airwaves today. They're overly produced tracks, with almost no content. The beats are going, and then the rapper's like mumbling some crap that doesn't make sense, like pull up, blah blah. Like, bro, what you saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, I don't hate that, so I'm not a hater, but I'm just saying, like, if they can push those kind of tracks, then why can't they push the political stuff that benefit society? I mean, in this day and age, lucky we have an exception with Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole getting that push. But when you think about it, they don't really do the same numbers as Drake does. You know what I mean? Like, they get awards for albums or whatever, but their conscious or political tracks, especially, they don't dominate the charts like they should. I mean, when was the last time you seen a track like Brenda's Got a Baby top the billboards for 6 to 7 consecutive weeks? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when I realized this, I invested time to figure out ways where I could make conscious music or real hip hop that'll reach a wider audience, the gray area. So instead of dropping knowledge directly as a conscious rapper would do, I found that it was better to come with it subliminally or indirectly, because the average human, especially those who are used to radio-friendly music, when they listen to music, they don't want to get educated. They just want something they could dance to and feel good to. So when I started making conscious music or real hip-hop by designing it to sound and feel like it's pop commercial track, and I realized that it's better to hide the truth in plain sight than trying to convince people that they've been fooled. I see it all the time in the television. They hide the truth in plain sight, especially these Illuminati, type videos. And the truth is there, but they're playing with your head. So, I mean, but don't get me wrong. Like, I don't always do conscious music, but for every track I do try to make the listener feel some kind of way on a subconscious level. But making conscious music and packaging it as commercial is my general intent overall. But you necessarily won't pick it up. But at first, but after a while, you start reading between the lines and you start to decode what I just left in your brain. So that's why I have those 3 elements, and that's what inspired me to develop those 3 elements.
Yo, that is very smart. I mean, the elites do it with, their central programming. So why not, apply the same method in music on a conscious tip? Our subconscious pick up a lot of things. So, man, I applaud you, man, for doing it the way you do it, man. How they say it, like when we were kids and we didn't like something, like our parents may have disguised it as something else just so we can eat it.
That's true. I mean, that's how the vets do it too. They hide the pill inside of the bone or whatever the dog eats, and the dog won't even know it. It's getting medicated against its will. So yeah, if they do, why can't we do the same thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, playing them in their own game.
Definitely. Man, I have to tell you, man, I have to confess, like, I watched a few of your music videos and I was like, man, this guy's a party animal. But hearing you talk now, that's just the surface. There's more to you as a person and as an artist. And I'm glad that we're having this chat. So on that note, man, like, give us some history, man. Like, how did you come to be as an artist? How you're wired in your mind, how you think. Like, give us the 411, the bio of K Jr Kaze. Like, everything. Tell us everything, man. We love stories.
All right, for sure. Oh man, where do I start? So, the stuff I just told you about hiding conscious music and in commercial sounding tracks. Like, yeah, you're right. There's more to me than on the surface, because it's got to do with how I even got into hip hop. So what happened was, when I was like 9, we briefly moved to Australia, and it was a total culture shock. I mean, like, came from a...
Where did you move from?
Sorry?
Where did you move from?
Papua, in my home country, and then we briefly moved to Australia for like 1 or 2 years. And then so it was a culture shock, because I didn't just came from a black country where majority of people I see are black. And then I go to Australia, I'm 9 years old. I'm like, wow, there's so many white people. I was amazed. I'd never seen that many white people in my life. I was like, this is cool. And then I started school, and then it was a totally different story. Like, I had trouble fitting in, and the reason why I had trouble fitting in, because at the time, some of the teachers and the white students, because I went to predominantly white school, and some of the teachers and the students didn't really treat me and the other colored kids nicely, you know what I'm saying? And because I just came from a different country, I did not know what racism was, or the concept of racism was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was happening to me. So I'd go home and I'd try to explain the best way I could, you know, without knowing what racism was to my parents. And they didn't believe me. They thought I was making up stuff up. Because in their mind, like, all white people were good, because the white people that they hanged out with, they hanged out with white people from the same church that they was going to. They didn't really know any white people outside the church. So in their mind, all white people were nice and racism didn't exist. But I was going through it at school. And so for a while, I felt like misunderstood and left out and kind of lonely, because I was missing home because of that, my home country. Yeah. And then one night, I had a little radio with me. It was about 9:30 p.m. and there was a hip hop show that played like real hip hop music and conscious music too, you know, with swearing as well. I guess that's probably why they played it at 9:30 p.m. because of the swearing as well. And like while I was listening to the rap songs, like something touched me inside and made me realize, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if my parents don't believe me, these rappers right here are basically explaining to me what's going on and what I'm going through. And they're basically telling me that, you know what I'm saying, it's because your skin color is different, that's why it's happened to you. But don't worry, we got you, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's tracks like Tupac and stuff like that would come up and kind of explain my situation without even me knowing what the situation was. And that really opened my mind up, and, you know, it gave me a sense of comfort. I guess in a way, a small purpose, like, you know what I'm saying, if hip hop has, you know, gave me this much comfort, then there's a reason why I think I'm introduced to it right now, because I felt so much better after listening to them rap tracks, hip hop tracks at nighttime. So I would, every nighttime I go to the same show at 9:30 and just keep listening to hip hop. The more I listen to it, you know, the more it helped me deal with racism a bit better. When I was a kid, nobody explained to me what racism was.
Right.
And then a few days later, you know, I conjured up the confidence to write my own rap song, to diss the crap out of my teachers and the white kids at that school. Like, for not, you know, I'm for real, man. Like, you think like for a 9-year-old trying to write a rap song, you think I'd come up with like maybe 1 or 2 lines. Nah, man, I came up with 3 verses and like 4 hooks or something like that. And it was like a full-length track that I wrote. And I rapped it to my best friend at school the next day, and he was cracking up because, like, I don't really remember the verses, but I remember saying stuff like, the kids can suck my and you know, all that. Yeah, I was just, you know, expressing my anger through that. And then, yeah, the more I got into rap, the more I started to know myself and know a lot better about, you know, I guess race differences and political issues and stuff like that. Like hip hop. Yeah, basically hip-hop, you know, raised me to be the person that I am now. And but most people don't even know this story. Not even my best friends know this story because I met them later in life, you know what I'm saying? But the ones that do know me well, and they know that there's more to me in the surface. And when I explain to them the story, they understand why I have so many different layers. Because, like, yeah, like from a physical appearance point of view, you probably look at me like, he's a party animal, silver spoon kind of kid. But nah, it's like, it's a totally opposite. You know, I'm just able to recognize my physical image, and I know how to use it to my advantage. But that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm pulling the strings behind all the image. I'm making the brand behind it. That's all business related. The real me is different, because, you know what I'm saying? And you got to know the story to know the real me. And that's how I got into hip hop. And that's basically the real me. And I saw things from a bird's eye point of view. And then I came in. It's not like I was born into the society where I knew firsthand what racism was. I came in from the outside and experienced it. So I was able to see from, you know, all different points of view. And then that, you know, that helped me, you know, come up with skills on how to, you know, create an image and hide behind it, and basically hide the truth in plain sight, which is basically what I do. You know what I'm saying? I let them think of me how they want to think of me, but I know the real me, and I know how to play that to my advantage. So, and I've been kind of doing this to my music for a couple of years now. and it's slowly starting to pay off now. So yeah, that's how I got into hip hop, because of that experience.
Definitely. Let me ask you this, man, because rappers aren't, really the best advice taker when it comes to racism. Not saying all rappers, but the majority of rap is fueled by anger when it comes to race issues, or being treated unfairly by the police. And at 9 years old, you're writing, already angry raps towards your teachers and, peers, I guess, that were, treating you or conflicting who you were because of your color. At what point did you start to change your outward look outside of racism? Because I assume that you have some best friends that are white, right?
Yeah, I do. Oh, not so much no more. Not because I got hate from them, but because the lifestyle I live, I'm more just because the way my travel stuff goes, and like the people that because I'm trying to help develop hip hop in Papua New Guinea as well. So I'm more in that kind of area of people. But yeah, I do have white friends, and like you said, some rappers come at race, with anger and hate, but. Like I said, I was able to come from a different country and experience and see all this racism stuff from a third person point of view, instead of, being born into it, like how some people are in America. You're born into it and you already know which side to pick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was able to see like all angles, and the way I started approaching it was, I'm saying, like I'm not gonna make, hateful music, because then it's just going to inspire someone younger than me to get into some stupid thing, and then they end up in jail because of all the hate that I inspired them with. So I figured, like, instead of doing that, I'm just trying to educate people with the same skin color as mine, and educate them about what's happening, what's going on, because that's what I lacked when I was 9 years old. No one told me what was going on or why I even exist. Like, I even had to, when I got a bit older in high school, I even went as far as researching colonialism to understand racism a bit more. And that's when I got a bit of a grasp of the situation. I'm like, all right, so this thing isn't just something that's happening right now. There's a source for everything. So I had to go to the source and learn about it. And I'm like, all right, and I realized that the source is also the reason why it continued, because they put this system in place to help it continue. Because racism is not like something you see on the street and it's like physical. I mean, at times it is, but you have to understand and ask yourself, why does it even get to that point? And you realize, it's because they put systematic things in place to maintain it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the subtle things, like, what do you call a blacklist is a list for bad people, you know what I'm saying? Or
yeah.
Black Bolt song. Yeah, subtle racism, and that's part of the systematic racism. So instead of trying to come at it in a hateful way, I figured out it's probably better to educate black people or where racism came from and where it started. It's better to teach them about the source, so that they have a better understanding how to approach it, rather than trying to fix the issue in the surface. There's always a source, and I think everybody has to make an effort to try and find out what the source is. And I think the best place to start is learn about colonialism. That's basically where it all started, and that's where the systems were in place at that particular time period. That's where the systems were in place by Europeans, and that system still existed to this day.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand this, if you can't understand the source, you can't understand how to deal with it now. You have to go to the source. Every tree has a root. You know what I'm saying? Trees don't just sprout out flowers and leaves. They all have a root somewhere. You have to go to the root, and that's where you find the truth. When you find the truth, you have a better understanding on how to handle the situation to your benefit, or for the benefit of the opposite person that you're trying to fix or educate. So yeah, that's what I do. I just try to subliminally hide certain seeds in my songs and let them know. Because like I said, it would be stupid for me to inspire all this hate for some young kid who looks up to me. and gets a gun and goes and shoots a bunch of white people. Because that kid's gonna go to jail because of me. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather educate the kid, like, look, go do your research about colonialism. This is where stuff started. This is why slavery even exists, and this is why religion was even introduced to our people. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it comes to religion, like I've seen it. It's like a tool of slavery as well.
Oh yeah.
And no one really has figured it out. Like religion is a tool of slavery, because like when you think about it, like when Europeans initially invaded Africa, Africans were fighting back. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give a crap if the Europeans had guns. They were fighting back with spears. But when they introduced religion, Christianity to the Africans, that's when they started fighting back, because they were convinced that it was wrong to fight back. And then they might go to hell for fighting back for their rights and whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go to the root and find out for sure, so you can know how to handle the future and the present. That's my take on it, basically.
Definitely. Man, you're a pretty wise brother. I'm glad we're having this conversation. Not many artists can really dive deep like that. Let me ask you about this, and this is just because I heard Drake talking about it not too long ago, but what about hatred from your own kind? Have you experienced any of that yet? The light skin
Sorry,
versus
can you say that
dark
again?
skin.
Kind of cut off.
I said, have you experienced any hatred from your own kind? This may be more of a Western thing, where it's light skin against dark skin.
Nah, that stuff actually happens in my country too.
Really? Man.
Yeah, but it's not really extreme. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. But it's not extreme to the point where you go to wars or whatever. But it's just the psyche of people. Like I said, you have to go to the source. And before colonialism, black people or brown people, it wasn't such a big deal. Until like westernization was introduced, like a religion. Christianity is like the biggest religion to black people around the world, regardless of whether you're in America or Africa or in my country. Christianity is a huge thing, right? And in Christianity, what did they paint Jesus? They paint Jesus as a white man, blue eye, blonde hair. So if your skin's closer to Jesus, you're more desirable than someone whose skin is darker than light skin. And like, it's just a terrible psyche, man, because even the dark skinned people in my country think they don't really look up to themselves that much, and that's what annoys me a lot. But I think just lately in the last 4 to 5 years, it's been slowly changing. There's a bit more black love, because people are starting to be woke now. You know what I'm saying? There's less people interested in religion, and they're more interested in the culture now, which is a great thing. And they're slowly starting to be woke and starting to understand that, this whole light skin versus dark skin, it's just a mentality that the system, it's a product of the system that was in place to kind of keep us, keep an infighting between us, so that we didn't attack the real enemy. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
And I think I think people just need to, instead of being stuck in the now and having the mentality that the system in place, go back, go to your roots, learn about your culture, learn about how great your ancestors were, and then you have some pride about yourself. And when you're proud about yourself, you're less likely to hate yourself because you're not as light skinned as that person, or you're not white. Yep. You know what I mean? It's because no one ever told you that, your ancestors were great people. Like most people in America, like, they think that their history started from slavery, but no one ever told them that they have ancestors in Africa that were kings and queens.
Yes.
That lived in well-designed cities and very advanced water systems that even Europe didn't even have. They don't teach them this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming from experience, because when I was living in Australia, there were things put in place by the teachers that made me feel bad for not having a white name, you know what I'm saying, and not having European features. I faced that before, but the thing that changed my mentality was, I took the time to find out, and it's because of Malcolm X. I did a lot of research on Malcolm X, And that dude really opened my eyes. And after researching Malcolm X, and I found the time to research about myself, about my history, about what my ancestors did, and because of their pride, I'm able to, stand. I can stand and live a racist. He can yell as much as he wants, but I know the truth. Like, you can't fade me. I know who I am, and I'm proud of my skin color, where I'm from. You call me primitive all you want, but you just call me a human being. And being a human being and being from this planet means you gotta be primitive to live like a primitive, basically. You know what I'm saying? So like, racism doesn't faze me anymore because I spend more time, researching the root or the source. Like I said, with everything has a source and a root. Go to where it started, and you'll find the truth and how to handle the present and the future. So, yeah, I was fortunate to, I experienced it myself too, but I was fortunate to grow out of it after doing my research about myself, my history, my ancestors, and my forefathers before that, and what they did. Because of what they did, and I carry the same pride that gets me through life right now. So yeah.
All right. So, all right, man, let's talk about the real reason we are here, man. After diving deep with you, man, I definitely appreciate your insights there. But you just released a hot single for One Time, like a few months ago. And those have to be very exciting time when, new music is on the horizon and being released to the public. So, and a lot of our listeners like to hear the process that goes into like how songs are created, what steps you took to get it out there. So let's start right there from the concept, where everything started. Like how did it all unfold for you?
All right, so as I mentioned earlier, I usually do conscious music or real hip hop and package it and sound pop sounding. But when I did for One Time, I got the beat, and I've never worked with that kind of beat ever in my life. So I was kind of, oh man, I don't even know how to explain it. I was kind of lost a bit, like how am I going to attack this beat? I've never done this before. This sounds more like a Drake beat. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it dancehall, was it? Yeah, it's something like dancehall feel to it. Yeah. And but when I got the beat, I'm like, you know what? It's a challenge. I'm gonna take it and see what I do with it. And then I heard the beat and started feeling it. It's still a bit unusual, but then I wanted to do. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with a different direction this time. And I genuinely wanted to do something purely entertaining that'll make women dance and feel good too. Without sounding materialistic or rude to women like most rap songs do when they club hits. So I don't really usually release songs like for One Time. So I was excited that I was releasing something out of my comfort zone. And I actually liked that track, and so do the females who heard it and gave me feedback. Actually, there was this female friend that I've known for like a year now, and usually our combos are on the friend zone level, you know what I'm saying? But after she heard it for One Time, our combos started changing, and her intentions towards me started becoming more than friend type things, and suggested pictures, which I appreciate a lot. So I was starting to think I should do more songs like for One Time, because it's definitely paying off for me in the female department. I ain't even gotta be rich or famous to get that type of attention. So yeah, the song, the song has become a wingman. So yeah, it's not a bad thing. I think I'm gonna keep exploring that direction for a little bit, without losing my core, elements though. So yeah, that was
So what are like the main ingredients for One Time?
Ooh, the main ingredients, it was more melodic, I wanted to spend less time rapping and more time, I guess, singing melodies into it. Because I'm heaps into melodies. Like I said, one of my elements is entertainment, right? So this was purely entertaining. So I wanted to present it very entertaining as far as delivery and presentation. Because I know there's tracks out there similar to this, but you hear the verses, and the verses are stagnant to the point that you're just kind of looking forward to the hook. You know what I'm saying? So when I was rapping it, there's parts where I didn't rap it. I put a different effect on, or try to sing a bit, and then continue with a rap before the hook, so that way, the entire song is, it grips the audience or the listener from start to finish. That's also one thing I noticed about like traditional rap. Like, I love traditional rap, but sometimes the verses can get too stagnant, and you'll just kind of wait for the hook. So, and this being the first type of track I've done like for one time, it was challenging for me, but I think I pulled it off good. So, the main focus was on trying to keep the listener, hooked in from start to finish, and especially, get the hook catchy and make sure that they remember it well and sing it even when the song's over. So that was the main focus, to try and keep it catchy as much as I could.
Definitely. All right. Well, this is usually the time that we have our music break and where we play your track. But since we're through Skype, there's no real plugins for that. So we can't plug your music in the live version. But when the episode will air, my listeners, the song will be in the episode. So don't worry. And also, I put the link in the description of the show. So all you got to do is click the link if you want to really hear the song right now. Don't leave the interview though, but check it out. And like I said, when the episode come out, the song will be in the actual interview. So our bad on that one. We just can't play it through Skype.
And usually,
yeah, usually after the music break, we have a segment called the hot seat. And that's where you're invited to freestyle rap for us, or do some vocals, or recite a poem, or tell a joke or a story, or maybe play an instrument, but it's to put you on the spot and test your true artistry. Are you up for the challenge?
Yes sir.
All right, man, it's on you then.
All right, I was going to sing a few bars, but my voice is not 100% right now, so I'll give you a quick 16 or something like that, right? All right, I go. Peep what I'm spitting, it is so enticing. Lyrics are heavy when rap fiends, they all excited. I bring the storm and people say that my form is frightening. I scare weather because I am the one that strikes lightning. Forever fighting, I throw lines in my punches. I'm Muhammad Ali in his prime, and you just a body that's ducking. I'm about to graduate the way as far as income. Your pockets, they fly away. I be in the heavyweight division. I used to daydream, no form ambition. Had men on pictures of smashing glamorous women, hitting switches on rap tours, letting my music generate the figures, the carvers, the high hitters, just to kill your shh. I was a youngin' who partied and never listened, found an easy way to make a living. I was drug dealing, I was in the prison of thought. My bars kept me wishing for a transition just so I could find this in my vision like Tom Cruise. It wasn't possible of a mission, but I went deep uncover what was missing, the effing secrets, the business, and a thing to make amends. Call it homicide, baby, because I'm about to make a killing. So you would sell your soul for this feeling when you realize that everything's about to get different. If my wallet is a coffin for a dead president, then I'm gonna kill every candidate was trying to represent, man. That was it.
Bars. Dope all the way through. Man, I like that one. I like it.
Thanks.
Especially the lines about, being in a prison, mental prison,
Yeah.
I probably ain't got all that right, but on the gist of it, man, that was pretty dope, yo.
Thanks. Glad you liked it, man.
Yeah, man, love it. So I have some questions from the room. This one's from Alicia Keys. Of course, I don't think it's the real Alicia Keys. I think it's just somebody using the handle. But if you are the real
Alicia Keys. You got me all
Keys,
excited, man.
Yeah, shout out.
You got me all excited, man. Shout out. Hey.
You never know. All right, Alicia Keys wants to know, who are your top 5 MCs of all time, dead or alive?
Wow, you just put me on the spot like that. All right, so number 1, obviously Tupac Shakur. Number 2, Andre 3000. 3, Big Pun. Number 4, I say Big L. And number 5, Talib Kweli.
Nice. Now I know why you're so dope, man. You have all the scientists over there. Listening to the scientist, the chemist.
Oh, man. Yeah, just trying to do my part, man.
Yes, sir. Another question we got from Zach. How do you feel about rap beef? Would you ever participate or incite a feud?
I mean, in general, I think rap beefs, it depends. Some rap beefs are legit, but from my perspective, I think they're all just commercial media pushed by the labels to make more money. And if I had to get into a rap beef, and I'm not just gonna jump in it just because someone trying to make a name off me, or trying to sell more records using that beef. If I get into it, and I'll get into it for the competitive reasons, or because I think that this guy might be better than me. So if I get into it, it will be for competitive reasons, not because I'm trying to sell extra records or trying to expand my reach of an audience or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? It will be purely because of rap, not because of because real beef where I'm from, if you're beefing, you don't rap, man. You just hop in the car and show up to your hater's house and be like, yo, what's up? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's up.
Have you ever been involved in a rap beef?
Yeah. My first single that I ever released, it wasn't a single. It was like a diss track. The first ever track I ever released on YouTube was a diss track
Wow.
to a rap group, which got destroyed by that one song. And it wasn't really a beef. I was just frustrated because there was some promises made by the manager of the group that would hook me up with studio time, and he never came through. So it was like a month later. I'm like, you know what? I don't appreciate what they did. So I released my first song on YouTube, which was a diss record, and I dissed the whole crew. And that song circulated in the city where I was living in, and everybody started making fun of that group. And I even in the song, I made fun of I told the manager to go to Jenny Craig because he's too fat. And funny enough, because of that song, he ended up going to the gym to lose weight.
Wow.
He actually met me a year later. Said if it wasn't for your song, I'd still be fat. But look at me, I lost all this weight.
You inspired him. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked, because it was a hateful song, and he got inspired by it to do something positive. Which, I'm still trying to figure that out.
All right, I have another question for you. What makes this single different from your last single?
Okay, my last single. I mean, if you heard my last single, "The Fade," and you listen to it for one time, these are like two opposite tracks, man. And that's where you find out the difference, because the Fade, it was just me venting and reaching out for help in a way, but I wasn't reaching out for somebody else to help me, and I was reaching out for my, I guess my better half, or my subconscious, my happy side, to pull me out of something unhappy that I was in. And for one time, it's just like a feel-good song. You listen to it, have a couple of drinks, and go out or whatever. It's for one time, it's just one of those nice, dance hall, clubbish. I wouldn't really say clubbish, but something that you play while you're drinking before you go to the club type of song. And The Fade was totally opposite to this. So that's what makes it different. It's a totally different vibe, different concept, different feel, different everything.
Definitely. All right, and one last question from Lisa. She wants to know, what's your favorite dessert? Oh man, she may cook you something.
Hey, shout out to Lisa. My favorite dessert. I hate to sound stereotypical, but my favorite dessert is just watermelon.
Perfect.
I love it. I'm not even ashamed of it, man.
He loves watermelon, Lisa. So you know where to get some good ones. But the brother.
Yeah.
All right, man. Oh, go ahead.
I'm talking about real watermelons. Real watermelons. I'm not talking about. I was talking about real watermelons you eat, not the type of melons that are on maybe on Lisa's chest.
Oh.
I'm talking about.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure she has good melons though. Yo, shout out to Lisa.
Lisa, send him that screenshot.
I love you.
All right, man. Before we get out of here, man, like, where would you want our audience and our listeners to connect with you online?
All right, so I'm more active on Twitter, so you can get at me on Twitter. because of my personality, I had to limit myself on other social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, I'm still allowed to be myself on Twitter. So you get at me at Twitter, and I'll follow back, and we have a good chat or whatever.
Definitely.
So yeah.
All right, man. Thank you for your time, K Jr Kaze.
Thank you for having me, Deanie, man. I really appreciate this and enjoyed myself too, man. And shout out to everybody that listened in and sending questions. I really appreciate that. Hope to talk to you on Twitter or something like that. Get at me. I'm not shy.
And just in case you need the links, they're in the description of the show. So all you have to do is click them. It'll take you right to them, I promise. All right. Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, iTunes, YouTube, the app, Podcast Addict, which is just my favorite, but you can get it from any app that's on the Google Play or iTunes store. However, you can't get it from one particular app, and that is, what's the name of that app? I forget. It doesn't matter. But the reason why you can't get us there because there's an actual rock band who uses that name. And yeah, it messed it up for us. So don't worry about it. You can get it from iTunes. Or our website, which is only1mediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or send something for us to play, make sure you email it to vradio at only1mediagroup.com. That's V as in Victor. If you want a particular guest as well, email me the information and we'll connect the dots. So here's my disclaimer. We are genre free. We absolutely do not judge. And we do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. It's just my show, something you got to deal with. Not just kidding. On behalf of myself, Danny Mussolini, I appreciate you guys for tuning in either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring, and we stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure you have the best experience here on our show. You know the number to always dial is 701-801-9813 to connect with us. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is our number one rule. Oh yeah. See you guys tomorrow night for the listening party by Albie Sound. We'll be kicking off at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time and digging into all the tracks on his project. Okay, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
It's Rico Mello, baby. Yeah. I'm dedicating this to the girls of Palm City. I was recently there, and them girls got the same kind of attitude like the girls at ATL, which is amazing. This one's like dedicated to those girls that show me a really good time, Damn, baby, your body bad, and if looks could kill, I'd be your body bag. Translation, that's how much I want it bad. And you working your thing up in your dorm room, waiting for me to do right on the wrong. You shirts up and pants down, putting my key in your ignition, fast speed. I don't want you, and I'm swerving the curves when I'm on you. Porn star performance, so shawty, I'll applaud you. Baby, I'm amazed by the way you shake the Manhattan hair, by the way you make you want a little one-on with. Take the spot to be my down at bed. Hey, the way I'm loving you. Hey, that look in your eyes is like the sunrise when you fucking me. Rick, open up some wine. You already know how we go all night. Won't you bust it open for me and grind just for one time, yeah. Rick, open up some wine. You already know how we go all night. Won't you bust it open for me and grind just for one time,
Swear, baby,
yeah.
you looking good and I got it bad, scheming for you, taking my robe off and I'm ready for round two.
fresh out the shower. Drops dripping up your skin.
I'ma lick you dry, get you wet again.
Let my tongue be your towel, I'll dry you off. From your lips to your waist below. Every curve, every bump in between it all. Make your toes curl up as I hear you moan. Yeah, when we K's, we gon' mellow, get that red flutter for days. No position is a limit, I got so many ways to pound you so hard to get your feet floating in space. The way you me, hey, the way I'm to you, hey, that look in your eyes is like the sunrise when you fucking me. Break, open up some wine, you already know how we go all night. Won't you bust it open for me and grind just for one time, just for one time, yeah. Break, open up some wine, you already know how we go all night. Won't you bust it open for me and grind just for one time, just for one time, yeah. Break, open up some wine, you already know how we go all night. Won't you bust it open for me and grind just for one time, just for one time, yeah. Break, open up some wine, you already know how we go all night. Won't you bust it open for me and grind just for one time, just for one time, yeah. Baby, I'm impressed by the way you wanna be. Hey, the way you me, hey, the way I'm you. That look in your eyes is like the sunrise when you look at me.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.
This is it. That year for your business to shine. That trip around the sun has begun. You've followed that dream, burned that midnight oil. This is that year to find new customers with Telstra. We'll help you get online or sell online, get the latest smartphone or business-grade broadband, or get recognised with a Telstra Business Award. Why carpe just one diem when you can carpe 365? Make this year that year. Visit Telstra today.